Guys, welcome back to the channel. It is your lovely host, Pags. Today we're going to build an awesome crypto kind of build, a thing that got me into software or furthered me into software engineering was the crypto ecosystem as a whole. So we're going to build that today. On the right here, I've just initialized the project. Let me go ahead and delete everything I was working on. I was just messing around with the API to make sure it still works a little bit earlier, but we're going to start with a fresh Next project. So npx create next at latest. Let me zoom in so you guys can see a little bit better. So npx create next dash app at latest. Actually, let me clear this and then we'll go. Let me get that. Boom. So that should be your starting command right away. So let's go ahead and click that. So that should initialize our next application. I'll say yes. If you get any pop-ups too before any update packages, just go ahead and install those. Would you like Tailwind CSS? Sure, why not? ESLint, of course. Source directory? No, that's okay. App router? I'll click yes. Import alias? No, I won't do. Okay, so on the right here, I just have a localhost 3000. Popped open while this loads. We're going to go to the CoinGecko API, crypto API. There's a paid version, of course. There's a higher end version that CoinGecko has. We're not going to do that. We're going to do the free version, and there's actually multiple versions of the API. So we're going to look it over real quick together and get the correct version. So here's all the APIs. You should see them on the left. My screen's little bit off the screen as well, but this is roughly the list of things we need. We're going to pick up two APIs for this build. The first one is going to be this coins. So if you see this ping simple and then coins, so you can close these, I guess, and we want the coins. Interesting. I didn't realize they have the contract as well. But we want the coins one. We're going to pop open the coins list, and then we're also going to want the coins ID one. So let's start with one at a time. We're going to do the coins list. And I want to press this button right here, try it out. So I'll click that, and then I'll hit execute. And we get all this stuff right here. It seems intimidating. And guys, this is going to be our request URL. I was messing with it earlier. It was getting too many requests. I know that was a problem that I had with it back in the day as well. So worst comes to worst, if that happens during the demo, we're going to opt to the JSON format, which is just this huge list of all of our coins. Oops. And we'll just steal that into our project and take that. And then for this crypto coins, this coins ID one, we will use the correct API for that one. That one I was having no problems with during the build. So on the left, oops, did the wrong thing. I'll hit npm run dev just to start up the server. We can see how it's starting up, and we should be initialized. If I open up my Explorer here and go to the app folder, and I have a few things. I have my favicon, globals.css, my layout, and page. I want to click the page. I'll close the terminal. I'll close the Explorer, and how I did that was Command B. I'll come up here and I'll press this arrow and close all of this. Basically, whether you want to close it, highlight it, delete it, basically we just want to initialize the application. So all I'm left is this return statement. You could see it throws an error because we don't have anything in it. So let's just initialize it with a div, and I'll put hello. And that should at least start us with this. So that's all we need. We actually will use the next image. So I'll leave that, that's fine. If you delete it, not a big deal. And within this div right here, I'm going to say class name flex dash call with full min height screen. So that's what that looks like. Flex dash call w dash full m or min dash h dash screen. And what that should do is give us all of our dimensions. So left and right, we now are using the full DOM system. And what I'll do is also hit justify center and item center. So now our hello is right in the middle of the screen. And I like to build this way because anything that I add, if I say object right here or component right here, they'll just start stacking on each other. And in my brain, it makes more sense that way when building web applications. So that's why I kind of always initialize my layouts or bigger things with this. But that's all that. So I'm going to delete all this stuff right here, all these components and object. I'll leave the object. We'll change that in a moment. And what we want to do is pull in a few things. We want to pull in that API, try it out, see if that works. This coin list one. So if we go back to our crypto API documentation, under the coins list Git API, this API, this endpoint, we want to highlight and select HTTPS, the // API CoinGecko coin or coin.com/API v3 coins list. That is going to be the first request URL we want. And what I want to do is give me some space right here. I'll say function get data, or I'll say get coins data. Let's start with that. Get coins data, not coin. It's multiple coins. And I'll say const response equals await. And we want to do something here. I want to use Axios. So in order to do this, we want to install a library in our terminal. So what I can do is press Control C. Guys, and slow down as well if you're, feel free to pause the video. So I'll press Control C to either stop the terminal, or there's this button right here next to the trash can to open up a new terminal. Either or is fine. If you stop the terminal, just make sure to restart it with npm run dev. And what I want to do is npm I and then Axios. Let me see if I can close this real quick. So you guys can see all of this. Boom. So npm I Axios at types should look like this at types/Axios. The reason is we need to download Axios and the types for it, the types module to declare all the types, just because we're using TypeScript. So that's all we needed to do there. I'll go ahead on the right and close out of that terminal. We don't need it anymore. And I'll get back to the application. So we just needed to install Axios and import it now at the top. So import Axios from Axios, and it should work great. If you see any red underlines, it's more than likely because you didn't install the types module, and that's fine. Just give it a go. If you hover over it, it should tell you what to install. So we want to go back to our function right here, async function get coins data. All I have is const response equals await. And I want to press axios.get, and then I want to get in the habit of using backticks, but you could do quotes for this one as well, either or, but I will use backticks personally. And then I want to paste that API that we got from CoinGecko, this list, pop that in over here. And what I want to do is I want to do console log.response just to see if we're going to get that response. And I press save. I'm using Prettier, auto formatted everything. One last thing I want to do, give me a little space. I want to say const brackets coins and set coins. And I'm going to do equals use state and initialize that use state with an array. We're getting a red underline because we haven't imported it from React. I can do react.useState would be one way to fix that problem. Then I also need to import React, or I can just import useState directly. So that's what I'll do, is import useState from React. And what we're ultimately going to do with useState, and you can see on the right here, we're getting a server error because every component in Next.js by default is a server component. So I just need to go to the top of the file and press use client or enter use client. And that should take care of everything. And now we're back up and running. We've set up the initial coins data response. And what I can do here is set up a button, or I can use the use effect. But first, I want to set up a button just to make sure that this API is firing off. And boom, I'll say get coins data. And this is just a button. Obviously, it's not texted up at all. And I can actually get rid of this object. And if I say get coins, we should see now a console log response. I'm using an extension called Console Ninja, so hopefully it pops up here. But if not, it should pop up in your console. Let's see if this works. Boom. So you can see Console Ninja. What it does, it shows the console on your IDE in this blue format, and that's a really helpful extension. But if not, just pop open your console, and you should see some response. And this is awesome. So if we do response.data, that's the real response we want, is all of these coins right here. So I want to say response.data, and that should give us a array of 1,000 or 10,000 coins. If we pop open some of these matrices here, we should see these coins. And these are all of the coins that we're getting back from this endpoint. So there's a ton of material. You could see a ton of coins, thousands and thousands to go to. Chain, we should even see some of the big names like Chainlink if we can find it. There's just a lot of coins now. So we're going to go ahead and list them out. Oh, here's Chainlink right here. Boom. Nice. 1913. So we're going to set this response data to our set coins and then show that on the screen. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to give myself some space here. All I need to do is say set coins and response.data. And now all of these coins are going to be set to this coins piece of state. We can get rid of our console log. And we now have that piece of state captured with these coins. So above here, above our button, I'll give us a little space and I'll say object. I'll open these curlies and I'll paste in my coins. I'll say dot map, and I want an arrow function from a coin into more things. And I'll go ahead and build a div right here. In the middle of the div, I'll add another curly bracket and I'll say coin dot, I think it was name is what it was saying, or ID. There was a few things here. And we should be getting a key, missing key prop for this div. So what I want to do is right next to the div is open it up inside the little alligator teeth and say coin.id. Let me zoom in a bit too. I don't know if you guys can see. Okay, we're getting some errors here because we're saying coin cannot exist on type never. This is the TypeScript error because we haven't typed our use state. So that's completely fine. Let's go to our use state here. And what it needs is a type right here. A quick dirty trick is just to do any, and that would obviously fix it right there. And then we also need to type this right here. Another way to handle this is to give it the actual type. And the type for this is going to be not const, but it's going to be const or type coin equals this ID string, name string, and symbol string. And then what we want to do is go here, and it's not just a coin type. It's going to be a coin with an array next to it type. And that should take care of all of those type errors down here. So this is what our code should look like all together. Slow down if you need to. And I now can access the coin.id, I can access the coin symbol and the coin name. So I can press get coins and we should see a huge list now of all of these coins. And this is the data from all of these coins from CoinGecko's API. And if you see this, you've done this correctly. And we are going to build this all into a component here shortly. But what I want to do is also, conditionally render some of these things, and we want to pretty up this list because it's just all out there right now. It doesn't look pretty at all. There's no way to really digest that information. So, but we're going to make it just a simple coin list that you can click on, and then at the top we'll see the coin that's highlighted. So there's going to be another kind of component that we want to build. So we can break this off into a component, or we can leave it there. I guess what I'll do is, I'll just leave it there. That's fine. We won't break it up into many components, but if you want to take all this, break it into a component now, that's a great idea. If you want to build upon this more, it's a great opportunity right now after you build something, get the data all figured out, pull that data out and build the component now. But we are not going to do that. What I'm going to do is say const coin and set coin. And and I'll say use state, and we'll leave it as this for right now. And what this coin is going to do, this is going to exist above our list of coins. So obviously we need to clean up this list of coins. So I'll wrap it with this. I'll even put this get coin button above. And I want to pretty some of this stuff up. So I'll say class name, we'll say background red, 400 with a /20, we'll say border -2, we'll say border red, -400/50. You can see it's kind of getting a little bit better. We'll do padding 4, we'll say rounded MD. And transition, not transition, but transition, right? That's how you spell it. And cursor dot pointer, and then I want to do active and scale -90. So let me show what this should look like all together. So we have class name BG red 400/20 border /2 border red /50 or -400/50 P-4 rounded MD transition cursor pointer scale. And now when we click that button, we'll get a cool effect. It'll shrink a bit, and then we'll also see that. So we can see it get clicked, and then boom, here comes our list of coins. So next thing, let's pretty up this list of coins and kind of control them so it's not, you guys can see how the scroll bar on the right is 10,000 coins. What we want to do is add something called pagination. So, but the very first thing I want to do is, well, let's see. Let's think about it for a sec. I want to at least do some overflow scroll and give it a height of, say, max-h of maybe 96. So it should shrink our coin list a whole bunch instead of it being that ginormous thing. But really what we want to do is ultimately paginate through this. We could do that in a moment, and I know I've got these scroll bars here, so I'm going to steal some CSS from an old project real quick, and it's called no scroll bars. So I want to, this actually isn't an old project, it's what I'm currently working on a ton right now, but what I want to do, and I'll also probably steal one of those toast colors. Those were so pretty on the project management system for those following that Code Chronicle series, but what we want to steal is this no scroll bars CSS. I'll pop that off to the side because we're going to steal that glass morphism here in a sec. It's really pretty. But we want to pop this no scroll bars into our CSS, our globals.css. And this is what it looks like. Scroll bar width -none, -ms overflow style none, no scroll bars, WebKit scroll bar width 0, background transparent. So what I should be able to do now, if I go to this div where our coins list is, if I now say no -scroll bars, it should hide those. In theory, it should. Maybe what I'm missing is importing the global CSS. So let's check that out for a moment. Import. Let's see, globals. Oh, did I miss it? Styles. App, and where was it? Oh, it's right here. Okay, so I actually just need dot and globals.css, and hopefully that works. For some reason that's not working, but it should be. It really should be. Do we spell it wrong? No -scroll bars. Guys, forgive me. I'm unsure to why that's not registering. Overflow hidden maybe. Okay, well, we could try to integrate the pagination then right now. That way it's at least a cleaned up list. So we have this get coins button. Let's clean up our coins selectors real quick. These tabs, if you will, is what we'll make them. Each one of these coins right now, it's just a coin, but let's build them out to be a tab. And then let's go for that pagination. And then I want to click on each coin and I want to show it at the top. So what I want to do is hit let's just say background gray 100, just so I can see what we're working with. I know it looks really bad right now, and then I'll do /20. And then I'll say PY4, that's for padding 4. I'll say PX2, actually we'll just do P-4. It's probably good enough, right? So it gives us a little bit of space around these coins. When I hover over them, I want to have a bit of this gray effect. Say background gray /10. So when we hover, we should see some highlight right there. And I'll get rid of the first background gray. We just wanted to see what the coins are. And this is more on par with what we want to see. And I don't want to see the coin.id. What I want to see is the coin.name. So I just want to see all of this stuff, right? Okay, let's do transition. And we'll say rounded MDs. So we should see they're a bit rounded now. Looks a little prettier. And cursor /pointer. So now we can kind of hover over them, and then I should also say active ;scale -90. And that way when we click them, we can see we click it, right? We can see we click the coin. We could do some other things too. We could say text, say opacity -50. And then, well, we could select a coin in a moment and show that it's selected or something. But let's do that in a moment. I want to actually get the data running so we can click a coin and then see it at the top of the screen. And then I guess last step we'll actually do the pagination, or at least try for it, right? But here we go. So at the top of the screen, we want to add another get coin function. So async function get coin data. So the other one was get coins data. This one we want get coin data. And I want to say const response equals await, and we're going to do axios.get. And it's going to be the same API here. So if we go here, it's the same exact API. It's just at the end of it, we want to put the coin ID instead of the coins list. So let's steal this API. We can steal actually all of this const response, all of it. And the important part is we do need backticks for this one. The first one you don't need backticks on, but this one we definitely need backticks on. Get coin data, this function is going to receive a parameter called coin ID, and we're going to declare it as a string. And on the tail end here, instead of coin/list, we are going to do a $sign and 2 curly brackets and plug in this coin ID here. And what this is going to do, every time we fire off this function, we're going to get the coin ID. So I'll show you guys the coin ID next to the coin name. It should pop up here. It's usually pretty similar to what the coin is. I'll put overflow scroll back on just so we could see more coins. But you can see the coin ID can be pretty different. So here's the ID, here's the name. So we want to pass this function the coin ID so then we can get more data on it, and then ultimately set the coin data and show it on the screen. So I'm going to hide these scroll bars. You may not have them. This is a bit of an older Mac, so sometimes that happens. I don't want to see it, so I'm just going to put overflow back to hidden real quick for now. And I'm going to refresh and get coins. See if we get those initial coins. And let's try this get coin data. While we're here, actually, before we go to that, I do want to point out one quick tangent. If your API is failing, if your API keeps failing, I know I had that problem of too many requests. What you want to do is go to the coins list and copy this down, this response body. There's a copy button, or you can hit Command A, I think, on it. Nope, can't do that, but there's a copy button, and you want to go to your Explorer, go to your app or somewhere in your project. Anywhere is fine, or build a new folder if you want. And you can even say JSON data. And in this folder, I want to write new file and say coin/data.json, and boom, paste in all of this data. And if your API is broken, I want to save it. if this isn't working for some reason, that's completely okay. It happens. What you want to do is import your coin data. I'll say capital coin data. That's fine. From ... go to the folder JSON and coin data. And you want to set, instead of your response here, you just want to set your coins right here to coin data. And what that'll do is pull directly from that JSON template we just made. So it should work the same. So if I refresh, we should see no coins. And if I click, I should get all those coins still. And we do. So that's how you know that's working either way. There's two ways to do it. So I want to show you guys that just in case your endpoint is breaking. But it looks like ours was firing off on my end. So I'll keep it the same of that endpoint. And here we go. So we can hover over our coins and highlight them and click on them. And maybe I'll add a little style just to the coin name real quick and the coin ID so we can kind of see what's going on. The coin ID, I'll add a little span and I'll wrap the coin ID in a span. I'll put class name. I'll say opacity -50. We'll do text small. That should help us. And then the coin name here, I can do a span as well. And I'll wrap it here. I'll say class name, text large, and font bold. I'll say MX2. So it gives us a little space from the coins here. It's overflowing off the screen. So let's give this parent a width of 1/2. I think that could maybe work. Boom, there we go. So there's our coin list. We could see our coins. If you want to scroll them for now, that's fine. It's just a really long scroll, of course. But here's our coins, and we can see the coin ID on the right. And what I want to do right now is click a coin and fire off this new function we just built, this get coin data. And I want to show the image. I want to show a few more things. So let's do that. We want to set coin to the response.data, and I'll show you guys what the response.data is in my console. So now if we click on a coin, we do need to link it up real quick. So this function is not being used. Let me close this button. And what I want to do in my coins list right here, this div, whichever one, let me zoom out for you guys. This div is going to be where I want to put an on-click function. On-click, arrow function into get coin data, and I want to pass it coin.id. So every time we click one of these little tabs of coins we brought, you could see, boom, it fires off and fetches all the data associated to that coin. So I can click this one and it should fetch even more data. And now if we look into our console, this is the data associated with that coin. So we get a lot more data. We get the contract address, we get the block time, we get the categories, what category it's associated to. Looks like we get maybe pricing or something somewhere. We get the ID, we get an image, we get a plethora of data here. So you can see the platform, it's on Avalanche, Ethereum, all of these things. So the symbol, of course, the tickers, looks like a lot. And watch list portfolio users, looks like we can see how many users are watching it. So you get a lot of data. Liquidity score, all of these things. I'm trying to look for the price. I'm sure it's in here somewhere, but you get a ton of data when using this additional API. So I'm going to shrink this down a bit real quick. And basically all we want to do is click a coin. I'm going to give just a little margin from this get coins button in the coins list here, because it just looks a little funky. So how I'll do that is hit MY4, and even this list, I could say background gray 500/10. So we know it's its own little list right here. And I can put headers on this list. I could do a ton of things on this list, and maybe we should do that. Maybe we should clean up this list a bit more. But for now, let's just do it so we can click on one of these coins, and then one of those coins should pop up at the top of the screen. So what I want to do, we're already setting the coin right here that we have. I just need to pull this now coin piece of state and show it on screen. So let me close this function. Let me close this function. We have this closed, and I'll close this button. So this is what our whole project should kind of look like right now, just to clean it up a bit, right? So what I want to do above the button is add a little bit of more space, and we're going to set the coin right here. I'll say coin. Let's start with the image, and I think it's image.thumb. And we're getting an error here because it could be undefined. So how to do that is I want to say coin and that means it should always be defined. Property image does not exist on type never, so we actually need to get the coin type. But the coin type, as we saw, we could see the thing popped up right here. That's awesome. As we saw in our template, the coin type is pretty big. It's a ton of parameters. And inside of our type, we would have to enter every one of these parameters for it to be 100% true. So what I'm going to do is either put in the types that we want to use, the image, or just put any. So I probably want to show the contract address and a few other things, but what I'll do is I'll put coin because we're setting for coins, but the type image is not on this type right here. So what we could do is say image, and what it would be a string, but then thumb doesn't exist on it. So we'd have to extend that type and say type image, where it would get a thumb, right? And we would set this to image. So then boom, that would work. And we could do that. But again, we're going to have to do that for so many things that I'm just going to do kind of a cheap way around it and say coin or any. And obviously you don't want to do very many any types in your development career, but that is what we're going to do for today. So I'm going to pull in that image finally from next image, and we want to set that up here. This is going to take a src, and that's where we want to paste the coin.image.thumb. And then I want to have an alt tag, and this will, I'll just quote and say coin image. So let's test it out. If we click a coin, well, let's get our coins. And if we click one, it should show us a image. So let's see what's going on. So here's our coins. And if I click one, it should show us an image. Oh, missing a width property. Okay, so let's pull in a width. Let's say 100, and let's pull in a height as well and say 100. That all gets reformatted there. So I'll refetch the coins. We could also add a loading response, would be really cool to do as well. So we could do that in a moment. Let's see, next image, host name, interesting. So let's figure it out. Hold on guys, we'll figure it out. Little debugging always comes with software development. Little debugging and development. Invalid src prop. So what I'm going to do is make it a string. Let's see if that fixes it. Oh, and then we have too many requests. So that tapped out our API here. Let's go ahead and set it to the backup version that we had. So import coin data from JSON/coin data. We already prepped for that, which is perfect. And I'll just swap this out in my get coins data function. We'll just comment this one out for now until that API is working again. This way the coin data is always here. So it's in a JSON format. It should always be here. Let's see what's going on. Weird. Let me try the image tag, and I know it'll throw an orange underline, but it should be working. It really should be. Unless some of these may not have images, could be what's going on. So I clicked it, boom, and there it is. So maybe it has something to do with the next image tag. We'll figure that out in a moment. But there's our coin at the top right there. And if I click on another, it should see a different symbol. And that's a different coin, and that's a different coin. So that's awesome. We know some variation of this is working now. Let's build this out to be a little bit more pretty. So what I'm thinking is to have like 3 cards, one with like the coin name, maybe the coin image, and then maybe like contract address, So let's kind of build for those. And what I want to do is set up a div here. And within this div, this is how we're going to put our 3 cards. So this will be card 1. Then we'll have like card 2 and oops. Sorry guys, I accidentally scrolled off. And then we'll have card 3. And these would technically be their own components as well. But let's go ahead and build one of them, and then we'll just copy them for all of it. So I'll say background gray. Let's copy the same gray that we have for these cards right here, or this list, excuse me. Say background gray, and I'll say width. Let's see, we want maybe 300, excuse me, bracket 350 pixels, and we'll say height 350 pixels. And that should give us all this. We'll say justify center, items dash center. We should be seeing the card get a lot larger. Oh, and then here on the parent div, so here we kind of have our button below. We have our coin image above. That'll exist in one of our cards in a moment. In this class name, we want to say width full and flex, and then gap dash x dash 8. So those cards should go separate now. Oh, it's not width, silly me. It's just W and height. So boom, there's our first card. Those look a little bit large for that tiny small screen. So I'll do 250 just to make it a little bit smaller. And we have items.start. I meant to do items-center. So there's our 3 cards now. We should see them pop up. Boom, card, 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 card. Just like that. And that's awesome. That is great. So in this parent, I can also do justify center, items center. So boom, now all of our stuff is centered up. And I could also do margin bottom 8. So it's not touching this get coins button. And in each one of these cards, we just want to populate different data. So we pulled in one piece of data. The first one was just that image. Some other things we could pull in. We could say coin. So if the coin exists, coin and we say coin. Forgive me, guys. We'll have to actually look at the console response here because I forget what other data is in there. So let's pull up in our console. Let me click another coin and let's see all the data we get back. We have, of course, the image. We already know that. I want to pull in the contract address. So I saw that as one of them, wherever that was. Looks like this one maybe doesn't have a contract address. Interesting. Not sure how it's a coin if it doesn't have a contract address, but this one does. So that is one of the parameters we want to pull in one of the cards. So I'll say coin and then coin dot contract address. And the coin dot, I actually want to add this little question mark, and we should see that contract address right here. Boom, look at that, just like that. So what I do want to do as well is wrap it in a div and say class name, because it's going off the thing. I want to say white space pre, and that should wrap it up, I think. So it's not as big, and width 1/2 maybe. Okay, so interesting. We'll have to, I'm not sure why it's not wrapping. Flex wrap, would that do it? Nope, not saying to do that. Okay, well, forgive me. So, but we do have the address there, which is great. And one thing I could do is cut it and then put it together. So I'll change it to a span, and let's just change some of the things on it. So we'll say font bold, text large, and above it we want to, in this column, we want to say flex dash call, and I'll add another span, and we want to define it. So this is our contract address. Contract address. Spelled it wrong. Boom, and it popped up just like that. So, and what I want to do here is say text medium and opacity 50. So we kind of can see, okay, that's our contract address. It looks great. And I want to take this contract address and actually slice from 0 to 10. And then what I want to do is copy that, press this and say dot, 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 hit another plus and say 50 to 75. And that should slice a lot of our contract. So maybe it's not 50. But we just want those tail letters, those tail end bits there. So I could say 30 to 50 looks like. Maybe I'll keep that there. So we have our contract address up here for this coin. If I click another coin, we should see a different contract. So, oh, here we go. We got an error. Let me see. We want to do boom and boom, little conditional render. And we want to get coins. It should pop up with more coins and boom, there's our contract address for this one. If we click another coin, we should see a different contract and a different symbol. So that middle card, I want to add this image here. And I'm going to disable. I did that by pressing Command and period to pull that up, or I think you can hover over it and click Quick Fix and hit disable that for the entire project. So now we can see what image is associated with it. Maybe we actually don't want the thumbnail image. I think there's other images that are much larger. The thumbnail is the smallest. Let's see what other images that we can work with. Something a little bit larger to see. So if I click image, we have large, we have small, we have thumb. So let's try large. Let's see how that goes. Boom, a little too big, but that'll work. We can always reshape it and resize it. So I'll try large and I'll put a class name here to say width, say 200 pixels, so we know it's smaller. So every coin we click, we should see the contract address and then obviously that image change. So we see that image, we see the contract address, we see the coin. And then let's do that first card. Let's put something in there that is a useful piece of data for us. So I'm thinking obviously the coin name and probably the symbol. So let's see, we have obviously the ID, looks like coin name and coin symbol. So I'll do coin question mark and coin name. And then below that, we want the coin symbol. And I want these to be a lot larger, so I'll wrap them, of course, in a span. Not a spana, but a span. And I'll pop that here. I'll say class name, we'll say text XL or even 3XL and font bold. And I'll copy that down and I'll copy this one in, delete this old one and paste this symbol in just to be quick. And let's see, boom. So we have it all put together. We don't want it to look like that. That looks pretty ugly, right? So get coin name, boom. We don't want it to look like this. We want it to be stacked on top of each other. So I need to go to this parent div, the one that says bggray/10. And I want to say flex-col, and it should stack them on top of each other. And maybe the symbol we don't want as large, and maybe we actually don't want it font bold, and we could do opacity 50. So yeah, guys, now we have a small little crypto build. So I can click on these coins. I can see, maybe I could do something here too to say text center. So I can click this, click that coin, click the next one. And let's see, we got our coins list. I'll go back to wherever that coins list is. Let me close kind of our cards for a bit. Here's kind of where our cards start, is all 3 cards up here. Here's our button to get coins. And here's our coins list down here, this one. I'll say overflow scroll again. Let's click on some other coins. Let's see how well this thing works, right? Maybe we could find Bitcoin. We could definitely add a filter function as well, especially with it being a JSON template. That's really a lot easier to do. Let's see, we'll click on that one. Let's see if we can find Bitcoin real quick. We got Binance Coin. It's obviously crowd favorite, familiar face there. What else do we have? We have, where is it? Bitcoin. We're getting closer, folks. There it is. There's BitCoin. Just saw it. There it is. Boom. Trusty old Bitcoin. So, yeah, guys. I mean, this is awesome. A few things we could add. We could do the pagination. We can filter for the coins list. How I can do that is add a search term. So search coin and set search coin. Ton of stuff you could do on top of this, guys, but really awesome build. You know, something simple but obviously fun and pretty. You know, so actually let me just go over all the code here so you guys could see if there's something you're missing real quick at this point. So we have our cards. This is kind of our cards component with a individual card, an individual card, an individual card in it. So that's kind of this guy right here, all of our cards. We have our button just to fetch the coins. And then we have our coins list. So if you wanted to break these out into components, that's how I would look at it naturally, would be a card component. Maybe we could do that just to clean it all up. But here's our cards, our button, and then the list at the bottom. And here's our functions and all this stuff. Obviously, this set coins data comes from this JSON template here of all of our coins that we got from CoinGecko. So what I could do really quickly as well is just throw it into ChatGPT to add a pagination function, and let's see how well chat handles that. I think ChatGPT would handle that phenomenally quick. Can you add pagination for this coins list? Boom. So I just copied all the code, asked, can you add pagination to the coins list? And it's writing it. So let's see how quickly it can do it. I think it'll do a great job. It says to add in all of this real quick. Add in boom. So we did current page, items per page, page number. Just write any for that right now. I'm sure it's a number or string. She does a number. It wants us to pull in a use effect. It has change page. And we could also use the use effect to fetch the coin data initially, so we don't have to press the get coins button. We could also add the get coins data right here as well. So on page landing, it just automatically fetches the coins for us. But I just wanted to show that awesome button configuration. Boom, so there it is. And then let's see what it adds here. Existing components, looks like current items. Let's see, array of pagination. Okay, and it looks like we need to add this bit to the template. Boom. Let's see. Not sure if it added all the pages. So these are all individual pages. I know it looks confusing, but it did add a lot of what we wanted here. But we do want to hide that probably, and it shouldn't be pages, right? We don't want to see page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5. We just want to see the next arrows or the left and right arrows. Yeah, guys, but altogether, if this is a build that you want to add upon, feel free to steal it and run with it. You know, like I said, there's search terms. You can hide a lot of these pages. You don't need to have that many of them. That's too many. Let me think how to do this. We could slice the ones. Yeah, I could figure that out in a moment, but I do want to add the search term at the very least real quick. So let's do that at the top of the screen. I'll add a input. We'll say class name BG Gray 500/10. We'll say PX8 PY3 and rounded MD seems to be a good deal. I'll say MY8 and then we'll say placeholder search for coin here. Boom. So now I can type in to our search thing. And what I wanted to do on change, the value needs to be updated. So the value will be search coin. And on change, it will be, guys, let me get rid of all this pagination noise. I'm sorry. Let's not add that right now. Let me add to, where was it? Let me collapse this. Let me collapse this. Current item, we'll say coins.map, and let's get rid of this. Let's just get rid of all of that pagination noise. We don't want that. We just want to get the coins on fetch and go back to our input thing. So on change, let's do this. E.set search coin, and I want to say e.target.value. So Boolean is not assignable to that, but we're not a Boolean. We are a string, so that should handle that error, and it has. And basically what I want to do is take coins list right here and filter it by the term. So let's do it in console log real quick. We'll say console log.filter. We'll say coin, arrow function coin.name equals search coin. And I think that is where we could say bit coin. Boom, and it popped it up. So this is what we want to call our list now. Instead of just saying coins.map, we actually want to do this whole thing .map. So boom, coins.map, and that should search as Bitcoin. Boom, there it is. So now I can search for Ethereum, and there it is. So those are some ideas to say Dogecoin. And you also don't even have to do equals. You can change this to a 2 lowercase or includes, right? So that way you don't have to spell out the full word. I should just be able to say bit, and then, oh, we need to update it down here, not up there. So let me copy this back. Or down here, just update it to .includes search coin. And I really should update that. So we have all of our coins, and then as I start typing in Ether, I can see all the Ethereum ones, all the wrapped Ethereum, all of this. And then if you want to see Ethereum, boom, there it is. So that's a really powerful way, bridged Bitcoin. And boom, here it is. So let me get rid of this console log, and let me get rid of this and show you guys the total of this code. So you can steal it as you want it. The last thing I just want to do is just update this to a arrow function real quick. Say const filtered coin list, arrow function into it, and say return that. And this is what will map instead of all this nastiness down here. So boom, filtered coin list.map is, oh, I see, and that doesn't exist on coins, so I'll replace that with any. That should, why is that not working? Coin, any. Coin list. Okay, that's fine. Then we'll trade it back. So that filtered coin list will just be that whole thing. I was thinking of a view computed function for that, but guys, that's the build. I think all together, you know. And then of course we need a big old title. We'll say crypto coin search index or search engine, right? And here we go. So text 3XL, font bold, font dash bold, MY16. That should pop up here at the top of the screen. So crypto coin search engine, maybe not MY16, that looks like too much, but MY4. And yeah, guys, that is our cryptocurrency search engine. So I can go ahead and search for Chainlink, the favorite of mine. Click it, boom, here it is. I can see the image of what it is, the name of it, and the contract address. So I can see the bridge Chainlink. I could see the other version of Chainlink. Maybe of Cardano. That's another good one. I could see that as well. So that's our crypto search engine as a whole, and just a little bit about Axios and API fetching and manipulating front-end data. So guys, I hope that's useful for you. I hope there's some knowledge in there. And again, let me just go over the code one bit as an overview. Let me do this and zoom in like crazy so you guys can see it. So from the start, here's all the imports. Here's the type coin. Here's all your exports, your get coin data function, the fetching for one specific coin, the use effect of just fetching data on load. If you don't want to use the button, you could just have it already there. And then here's all of our templates. So we have our title. Here's that. We have our search. Here's that component if you want it. Our cards. You can make those a component or make each one of these card components an individual component as well. So that's how I would do it. Card, and then our fetch button. And then our coin list. Oh. So again, let's just zoom out and see the rough structure on the code side. We have our title, our inputs, cards, card, fetch button, and coin list. And that's altogether what's built this. So yeah, guys, I hope there's something cool here for you and something to learn. Yeah, run with it. See, I want to see what else other people can build and where they take it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll have more content obviously on the way pronto. So cheers. Thanks for watching.